4B. Reading.
The alarm continued to sound through the ship, the same annoying noise repeating itself again and again.
Do we need to do anything?
Asked Sanderson.
No, we're perfectly safe here, Dr. Sanderson,
said the woman in the white coat.
The ship will simply pass by us. It happens all the time.
Unless it's unfriendly, I suppose.
He muttered. She didn't reply. He looked out the window, trying to spot it between the rise and fall of the waves. He wanted to catch a glimpse of what these things looked like, but he couldn't make anything out. He didn't know whether that was worrying or reassuring.
Who are you, anyway?
He asked.
I can't keep thinking of you as Whitecoat.
Kavanagh,
she said.
Dr. Kavanagh.
Pleased to meet you, Dr. Kavanagh. I guess I should thank you for waking me up.
The dizziness he had felt when he first opened his eyes was starting to fade. He sat up cautiously and looked around the room. He was clearly in a medical center of some kind. There were a few pieces of machinery he didn't recognize, but otherwise he could almost have been in a hospital from his own time.
Where is my pod, anyway?
He asked.
Do you have it here?
Kavanagh nodded.
It's under examination. Once we realized you were inside, and still alive, we spent days studying it to make sure that opening it wouldn't simply kill you on the spot.
Sanderson shivered at the thought.
Yes, good thinking. Examination, huh? I guess its technology must seem pretty amusing to you now.
He sighed.
That pod was a great development for my time. Now I suppose it's already outdated.
He waved a hand at the strange machines in the room.
Technology has clearly moved on in the last 100 years.
Dr. Kavanagh didn't answer immediately. When she finally spoke, her voice was very quiet.
Dr. Sanderson, what you achieved is still remarkable. To my knowledge, no one, either in your time or after, has managed to create anything like your pod.
She paused.
When the sea levels rose, a lot of things were destroyed. In fact, our initial examinations of your pod have confirmed what many of us have recognized for some time now, that we lost a great deal of our technology to the floods. I fear you may even find us somewhat backward.
He didn't look as though he was convinced.
But that can't be right.
He got up and began to walk around the room, looking more closely at the machines. He reached out to touch one, but changed his mind when he saw the disapproving look on Kavanagh's face. He stepped back. Perhaps he would be allowed to study them later.
The technology of my time couldn't create anything like these ships,
he said instead.
Nor can ours. These ships were made before the floods, when people started to realize the danger we faced. We still have the ships, but we no longer have the knowledge that created them. Why do you think there is conflict between different ships? When a part breaks down, sometimes the only way to fix it is to replace it with the same part from another ship.
It took him a minute to absorb the information.
Really? So my pod will actually help you recover some of the technology you lost?
He sounded rather excited about the idea.
That's our hope, yes,
she said.
We're about to begin studying your pod's internal systems more thoroughly. We'll be taking it apart to...
Taking it apart?
He said in alarm.
No, you can't do that, especially if it's still functional.
I'm afraid we can. According to the rules of salvage, your pod is now the property of this ship and its government, as, in fact, by the same rules, are you.